Major League Baseball, short card today, but still Major League Baseball giving us what? 3, 6, 7 total games. First game's going to start today, 105, followed by 307, and then the nightcap here. Do you know what I actually woke up this morning, Joe, was saying, you know what? I'm going to do a video here, as I do each and every morning, and pump out like, hey, we got a doubleheader probably on Thursday Night Football in the NFL and Major League Baseball. I was actually stunned to see we didn't have any preseason football tonight.
Yeah, I thought there was a game here tonight as well,
Me
Donnie,
too.
but no,
Me too.
I really did. Yeah, but it's no, we kick everything off again tomorrow, heading into the weekend for week 2. With still a lot of question marks with teams, Donnie, and starters and whatnot here. I'm going to be real interested to see, including the Bears here, who are swearing they're playing all the starters this week.
Swear on it, cross your fingers, and away you go. Now, by the way, Major League Baseball, Joe and Donnie's picks yesterday on Bye, red hot. Would have liked to seen a tweet
Oh,
out there to let the people know, because I always like to, like late at night, like when we hit our plays, Joe, I like to slap that retweet, like, hey, man, we'll be back at it tomorrow. So hopefully we get that capped out there today, but more importantly, win another game for the people as we did yesterday. But let's get down this list today. We're going to start at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. 9-11, 9-12, it's the Chicago Cubs and the Toronto Blue Jays. Boyd's on the mound, the lefty here for the Cubs, going up against Max Scherzer, the right-handed pitcher here for the Toronto Blue Jays. This total opened up at 8.5, Joe, still sitting at 8.5 across the board. A favorite, though, of around a minus 125 or so overnight to Chicago has taken sort of a step back. We're in that more pick'em range, minus 110s, minus 106, minus 115s either way. Boyd has some really good statistics. Scherzer, not the Scherzer of old. What do we see today? Basically a coin toss between the Cubbies and also the Blue Jays.
I saw this line overnight, Donnie, and I took the under at 8.5, and I think you can
Ah,
still find 8.5s here
we're
because,
there.
I mean, why are we going to think we're going to get a big run producing game with these two guys on the mound? I mean, say what you want about Scherzer here, but he has actually gotten better with every start over the last month here. So I think he's holding a 2.25 ERA in his 2 starts already in the month of August. We know what Boyd has done. He continues to be just absolutely lights out here. So to me, this feels much more like a pretty good pitcher's battle. 8.5, a little too high for me. I think less runs are coming in this game.
By the way, Boyd has been sensational. Like sometimes, Joe, we talk about pitchers, and we'll get to it in just a little bit, like Brad Lord. Like, oh, that guy stinks for Washington. No, he really doesn't. Like Matthew Boyd, his last 60 days, Joe, how about a 181 batting average against, a whip
Whew.
that's under 1 at a .82, a batting average of balls in play at a 222, an xFIP minus of 86, which is well below 100, an ERA of 1.92, and an xFIP number at 3.52. Like it's one of those guys that you don't really pay attention to, but every time he's on the mound, he's giving you a legitimate chance to win. Say what you want now. You need every day with a legitimate chance to win. When the Brewers aren't playing and you're playing, you better win and pick up that half game. If not, where the Brewers don't even play and you lose a half game that day because you lost, that can't happen. But let's get to Minnesota and Detroit yesterday. One of my few letdowns on the card was the Detroit Tigers, scoring only 1 run yesterday, but they did get the victory. Today, back at it against Minnesota, Skubal and Ober. Skubal, one of the best pitchers in baseball, maybe the Cy Young of the American League. This is a heavy favorite, though, Joe. Minus 210s overnight. They're starting to increase. Minus 210s, minus 215s, minus 220s in the marketplace, but a total of 7.5. It's low. Ober hurt me last time I've tried to fade him. He's not a good pitcher. Skubal is a good pitcher. Are we getting some offense today, or is this one going to also stay under that 7.5?
Yeah, I see. I don't understand this line because usually when Scooble goes up against less than 500 teams, Donnie, he's a $3
Yep.
favorite, except for the
Yep.
fact that he got lit up like a Christmas tree last
Did.
time out. And maybe we've kind of backed off the Tigers bandwagon with Tariq Scooble. Maybe he's showing a little bit of signs of slowing down here. So listen, Ober has gotten better because he's still only a couple of starts from coming off the IL here. I'm kind of with you. I don't think we're getting a ton of runs here. We did see a little over money overnight, but I'm with you. I think less is the way to go here, under for me.
Yeah, really disappointing sometimes where you try to be like, hey, how'd the guy do? Didn't really do too much in the minors, but you talk about that last start before he went on the IL, 5 2/3, 7 earnings. We're talking about Ober. And then you take a look and say, okay, he came back 5 innings, 4 earned runs. Like, oh, he's bad. And then he goes up against Kansas City. It was a good looking lineup. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run. Like, okay, I'm back in Major League Baseball. yesterday 1-0 game against the Chicago White Sox here. So Minnesota played late last night. You know their bats are going to be tired with that relay back from New York City to Minnesota and playing a baseball game. So maybe the bats are a little bit slow, and we don't see 8 runs in this game. But a heavy favorite for the Detroit Tigers as we continue to handicap Seattle and Baltimore. You're on deck. Let's go. More baseball on a Thursday. It's what we do on the early line. It's Donnie Right Side. It's Joe Ranieri, and it's the way to get down. And we start at 1:05 Eastern. Baltimore is the place to be. The Seattle Mariners looking to try to take down the Houston Astros out there in the AL West. 9:07, 9:08 on the rotation. Evans versus Sugano. Line opened up overnight at 10. There are a few 9.5s, but the majority of the books now double digits at 10. And I agree with that. Side opened up at -132 overnight. You still see it. Not a lot of movement here. 125s, 130s, and -132 still in the marketplace. But runs are expected today, Joe, to underperforming pitchers in a good hitting environment. Do we see runs in this game this afternoon? And also, does Seattle continue their winning ways here to try to track down those Astros?
Well, I mean, they got caught, right? At least once in this series here, and it's
Yes,
a
they
getaway
did.
day, if I'm not mistaken, right? So we got a 1 o'clock game early, and then everyone has got to go and hop on a plane and leave here. I don't particularly like either guy. Sagano tends to give up the fly balls, which at Camden could be a problem here today. And Logan Evans has had his moments here, though, Donnie. I'm actually looking at the other side here. I think both these teams are going to look to hurry up and get it done. I don't trust the Orioles bats. And I think all the heavy lifting, if we're getting an over, has to be done by Seattle. But I'm leaning towards the under in this one here today.
87 degrees at first pitch, light wind blowing in about 5 miles per hour from center field. Logan Evans for me on the card, a 121 xFIP minus, which isn't very good over the past 60 days, a 5.50 ERA, and a 5.01 xFIP number. Sugano, even worse, Joe, a 122 xFIP minus, a 5.91 ERA, to 5.08 xFIP number. I'm the opposite of this one because sometimes you're right about this. Getaway days are a little bit different. Middle of the afternoon baseball games are a little bit different. Like if you ask me, Don, if you had any choice to make here, what time would you start a baseball game? 7:05 Eastern. That's what they're used to. Their entire day, lifting, eating, everything culminates at night, as opposed to, let me pack my bags. We're out of here as soon as this game is over. It's sunny. It's really hot. I can't pick up the baseball that I'm used to usually picking up, and because it's sunny in center field. We get all that. But I look at the lineup. You're right. It's a decent lineup for the Baltimore Orioles today. But more importantly, Seattle's lineup does have some pop. Arozarena, Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, Eugenio Suarez, Jorge Polanco, all with really good ISO power numbers and certainly weighted on base percentages that should factor in this. And Sugano's not a good pitcher. So I'm with you. The heavy lifting probably is going to be done by the Seattle Mariners for me as well, Joe.
Yeah, and the other problem that I have here, though, and they could score 10 runs by themselves here, Seattle. We know they're capable. But outside of yesterday, the Orioles didn't score in the first 15 innings of this series, and somehow they managed to walk off a 4-3 win yesterday. So the bats are just not there. They're 3-9 over their last 12 games here. I mean, the O's offensively, you just can't trust them. And as bad as Logan Evans has been, Donnie, they have won Seattle his last couple of starts here. So the runs are going to have to come from Seattle in this one for sure.
I think we're getting runs in this one again. If you watched last night, they had a rain delay about an hour, hour and a half between both of the New York teams, the Yankees and the Mets. But the Mets, they had fireworks early. Mets played 6 runs in the first 2 innings, only to see the 4th inning that erased with 9 runs in the top of the inning by the Atlanta Braves, and they went to an easy victory. Bryce Elder's on the mound going against Kodai Senga. Kodai Senga is just a name at this point. That's all he is. Hey, remember when Senga was good? Yeah, it seems like a long time ago because he's not good. How about his last 60 days? A 131 xFIP minus, a 531 ERA, a 5.41 xFIP number. Bryce Elder, not much better either, Joe. A 119 ERA or xFIP minus, a 869 ERA, and then also close to a 5 xFIP number. This price point in this game is 8.5, some 9 starting to creep in, which I agree with, but a monster favorite for the Mets. Paying that much money for Senga, who's struggling at -200, and the Mets are as well. Come on, that's not me. Ain't going to be me.
No, it can't be. I mean, the only thing I'd be willing to bet here is we got a pretty good chance of getting some runs early in this game. So I think if I'm going to do anything, I'm looking at the Mets team total over in the first 5. I think it's 2.5, Donnie. I think the Mets can get 3 runs in the first 5 innings. Probably still very annoyed with the outcome yesterday, but I think that the bats have been alive. They just unfortunately can't stop Atlanta from scoring. So I like the Mets team total over in the first 5 here.
Yeah, maybe it was yesterday. The issue was like the polar bear was supposed to get honored before that game for passing Darryl Strawberry in the all-time home runs leaders list for the New York Mets. It got postponed to today, so maybe they had enough energy for the first 2 innings, which they played at 3 in the first yesterday and 3 in the second, none the rest of the way, and took the loss. Even though the Phillies took a loss as well, they weren't able to capitalize on that. Talking about the Philadelphia Phillies, they're going to have a nice little divisional game today. Phillies going to take on the Washington Nationals from Washington, a 6:45 start. 9:01, 9:02 on the rotation. Luzardo, the lefty, is going to go up against Brad Lord, the right-handed pitcher. 8.5 is the total across the board. A monster favorite for the Phillies. Once again, though, the Phillies were playing good baseball. You're going to lose games on the road. They lost the last 2 to the Reds, but they just couldn't hit the baseball in all 3 of those games against the Cincinnati Reds. Now favored as a monster 2-to-1 price or a $2 price favorite. Luzardo's been so hit and miss, really good or really bad. It's almost no in between. Lord, he's actually been really good, Joe. Did you know his last 60 days in baseball, 2.87 ERA? How about his last 60 days, an 83 xFIP minus, an xFIP of 3.39? Phillies bats, man, are they going to wake up today against Lord? He's been good.
The problem is Washington can't hit lefties. They are awful against left-handed pitching here, and they have not been very good at home hitting the ball. So while the Phillies have been slumping a little bit, this is not a great split for the Washington Nationals. So if I'm taking a shot here, I'm probably taking a shot with maybe an under in the first 5, thinking, Phillies again played yesterday. Nats at home, can't hit lefties. I don't know where the runs are coming from early in this one. I'd be willing to back an under in the first 5.
Yeah, we'll see. The Phillies been notorious for slow starts here on this road trip the past couple games, and maybe you see that again tonight when they take on the Washington Nationals. Let's take a look at Miami and Cleveland. Miami scored 2 touchdowns yesterday, Joe, but missed an extra point, but still scored 13 times against the Guardians in a 13-4 victory. Cabrera, the lefty, will be on the mound going up against Tanner Bybee, the right-handed pitcher. A 6:40 start tonight. Roughly a pick 'em. Minus 120s, minus 125s in the marketplace here, a 7.5 total. Unintriguing game, if I can use that word today, between Miami and Cleveland. Any angles for you early here, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it would be. I didn't like the spot yesterday for the Guardians, and sure enough, I mean, Yuri Perez versus Gavin Williams. It was going to be all of the Guardians, having a hard time hitting Yuri Perez, and they certainly did. They didn't have a problem. The Marlins hitting Gavin Williams, but
Nope.
Tanner Bybee has been much better at home. He loves this park here. The Guardians are still battling to try and catch Detroit. I do. I think this is a good bounce back spot here at a pretty good price with a pretty good pitcher at home. So yeah, I'm going to back the Guardians here in this one.
How about this next game? We're going to have 90-degree temperatures in Colorado. It's Arizona and Colorado. Rodriguez, the lefty, who used to be a good pitcher, not anymore. Blaylock just looking to get innings for the Rockies. There's no surprise that this line opened up at 12.5 overnight. Now, there has been some buying back to 12 because most people are going, yeah, I'll push that to 13, which means it would take 14 runs to hit a side total. A heavy favorite for Arizona, a crazy number. The one thing that we've seen, Joe, when Colorado's been home, let's just say for the past month, it's like a pinball machine. Who's taking on? It's 12. I don't want to take under.
No, and when you have that kind of number in that situation, I'd be willing to look at the run line for Arizona here. I think they'll be able. They've been hitting much better here as late. They get to Colorado. They've had a ton of success there. I'll lay the 1.5 here with the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Both these pitchers last 60 days, 119 and 117 xFIP minus respectively here between both of them. ERA's close to 5, xFIP numbers close to 5. Like you might have a powder keg out there in Colorado. What else do they have to play for here? Just get some swings on the bat. By the way, on a day-to-day basis, the Rockies lineup still looks good, man. The numbers are there, even if Warming Bernabel is going to be the future player they have. How about that name? Your name is Warming, Joe. That's fantastic for living in the Colorado Rockies at this point. Just the way it is in Colorado. Feeling good about today? The vibes are high. Oh, absolutely they are. And the early line always provides that. Here at Sunny Right Side, it's Joe Ranieri. Just had Cam Stewart. Always a lot of fun. Always a lot of energy here. Make sure you check out Cam around the network here. He's all over the place, popping in and out. We got some big doings today. Major League Baseball starts in the afternoon. Tomorrow, Joe, the preseason action kicks off. A huge slate on Saturday. And then we even have a Sunday night NFL preseason football game, which they're going to unleash Caleb Williams. And then next week, it's, sometimes like, hey, football Friday. Like tomorrow, yes, it's a football Friday because we have the preseason. But next week's Friday, it truly is a football Friday. Like college football is there. Then week 1 of college football. Then week 1 of the NFL. And every Friday, like these shows that we do, Joe, 2 hours. Like in the summertime, like we're going to keep you entertained. We're going to find those interesting topics. We're going to be at a point soon, Joe, where it's like we have way too many topics, which is such a cool thing. I love it.
Yeah, I'm all for it, Donnie, because there is nothing more exciting than betting second halves in college football. So the in-game betting opportunities are some of my favorite during the year. So looking very forward to getting football back in our lives.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic stuff as we await for that to happen. And again, you have preseason games, more starters going to play. Heck, maybe even Josh Allen throws his hat in the ring. Also, Andy Reid, though, was saying yesterday he's not sure if Patrick Mahomes is going to play in week 2 of the preseason, maybe shutting that down. But here's a question for us, too, right, Joe? Next week, like real football games, not the preseason, real football games in college are next Saturday. I want to ask you this question, and I'll give you a plus 100 price either way. Micah Parsons is signed, sealed, and delivered before the college football slate kicks off next Saturday.
No. I don't think he is getting signed, Donnie. I don't think that's going to rectify itself until the week of maybe a couple of days prior to the Cowboys kicking off the season against your Eagles.
Absolutely craziness. But you know what we got to do now? Let's get the people what they want. It's winning picks. It's what we do. It's bye, bye, bye.
Bye, bye, bye.
Oh, man. How much is Joe Lisi getting paid for that extra little voiceover right there? Maybe it's good vibes for the day. Coming off a sweep yesterday. Oh, bye, 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 Joe. Where are we going tonight? Where are we winning money? Come on now.
Well, we told you last night, Tampa early was probably a good bet in that first 5, and they handled business against the Athletics. I am going to turn to a pretty important game coming up tonight with the Guardians at home taking on the Miami Marlins. Now, listen, it was not good for the Guardians last night. They kind of got embarrassed, and they had a backup catcher in Austin Hedges pitching the 9th inning. That tells you everything that you need to know. But the reality is with the Yankees losing, the Guardians now are just 1 game behind them for that final wild card spot. They've got Tanner Bybee on the mound. He has been all over the place this year, especially on the road. But at home, he has been much better. And they need him to show up and show out here for this game. I mean, he just signed a 5-year, $48 million contract. He has got to be the guy that stops this and gets it going. I think the bats come alive against Cabrera. I think the Guardians at this price are a pretty good bet here to get back on track and put the pressure on the Yankees.
The Guardians looking to make a playoff run. That's pretty incredible as we talk about it now. But for me, I'm going to go back up to Flushing. And yesterday, it was Flushing. It was rain all across. There were 3 storms that hit Citi Field yesterday. 1 was the rain itself. 2 was the New York Mets in the first 2 innings. Then another storm hit for 9 runs in the 4th inning by the Atlanta Braves. We're sitting at an 8.5 today, and I understand the ebbs and flows of Major League Baseball. Oh, my goodness, how'd that game end up 2-1? Yes, it could happen. Kodai Senga, not a good pitcher right now. Bryce Elder, not a good pitcher right now. Both of these lineups scoring all those runs yesterday, and I can't get 3 runs out of a team, 5 runs out of a team here. Stop the madness. Over. Atlanta Braves and the New York Metropolitans. I'm going back to Queens, and I'm going back to win money. Yesterday, you know my buy was? Yeah, it was the Mets over 4.5. Cash it tonight, over 8.5. Let's cash that as well.
I love it. We also gave the Brewers team total over yesterday at 4.5, and they got that in 1 inning. So, and I wouldn't be shocked, Donnie. I would look at the Mets team total in the first 5. They are going to get the Bryce Elder early and often in this one.